Hello, my name's Alison Lewis. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering in the Built Environment, and I'd like to welcome you to this talk. I'm joined by Mary Hilton, who's the Communications and Marketing Manager of the faculty, and Celeste Wilson, who's the Undergrad Admissions Officer, and they're going to help me with answering questions if they are posed at the end. So welcome. This talk is all about why EBE, why the Faculty of Engineering in the Built Environment. I'd like to start by talking about the future. And at UCT EBE, we know that the future is now. Before COVID, we recognized that we needed to plan for a very different future. The VC started a futures think tank, and COVID fast-tracked the process. We are very proud that we launched emergency remote teaching in just a few weeks. We created virtual material and online videos for lab work. We shipped laptops and physical materials. We formed project teams, we trained tutors, and we offered extensive support. So as EBE professionals, this is precisely what are we trained for, finding innovative solutions to new challenges. So just to introduce you to the faculty, we've got 6 departments. The first is Architecture, Planning and Geomatics, which offers the B.Arch degree and the BSc Geomatics degrees. Then we have CEM, which offers the BSc Construction Studies and the BSc Property Studies. We have Chemical Engineering, which offers the Chemical Engineering degree, Civil, which offers Civil Engineering. Electrical offers 3 programs, the Classical Electrical Engineering degree, Electrical and Computer Engineering and Mechatronics, and Mechanical Engineering, which offers the Classical Mechanical Engineering and Mechanical and Mechatronic programs. So if you don't see the degree that you signed up for in this slide, then you're in the wrong talk. Our faculty is about 4,693 students. About 69% are undergraduate, and of those, 17% are international. About 26% postgraduate, of which about 30% international, and about 5% PhD students. If you look at the sizes of our first year class, you'll see it's probably much bigger than you're used to at school level. Our biggest program is electrical engineering with about 165 students in first year, and then right down to the smaller programs, geomatics, construction and property studies with 30 to 50 students in those first year classes. The one thing I need to say is that studying in this faculty is really intensive. UCT has, in any case, the shortest number of teaching weeks. 24 teaching weeks in a whole year. That's divided into 2 12-week semesters. And in EBE, we expect at least 40 hours of work per week. So it's during the teaching term, it's really intensive. The advice to students is be intentional and consistent from day one. For lectures, play them back, listen, take notes, stay motivated, use peer networks and support. And it's been shown that students who are more networked and more connected to their peers actually do much better. And we put a lot of effort into supporting our students in actually building those networks so that they can be successful. We're very proud in our faculty of the student support that we offer. I've got some examples here. We have first year advisors, so those are academics, professors in the departments who get allocated to the first year students. And so a first year student always has an academic that they can go to ask for advice. We have something called boot camps. So that is if you fail an individual course and this is going to prevent you from progressing to the next semester or the next year. We offer intensive tutor assisted training, and then you have a chance to rewrite the exam in order to clear that course and go on to the next semester. And those have proved very, very successful in getting students to graduate in shorter times. We also have academic development lecturers, at least one in every department, and those are academics whose primary role is academic development. They do their research in that area, and their main focus is around curriculum and expert teaching methods. We also have a program called Aspect. So that is an extended degree program, which means that if you want to, you can then plan, instead of taking, for example, 4 years over a 4-year degree, to take 5 years. And the advantage of this is it's a structured program. There's additional support, and it also means that there's a plan to take a little bit longer and take a little bit of the pressure off, and still achieve the degree in a nominal time. We have a very extensive tutor system, and that is run by the postgrad students who are registered in the faculty. So the postgrad students don't only do their research, they are involved in tutoring in the undergrad courses. And this has a number of advantages. It means that undergrads get to know postgrads, they are able to connect with students who are a bit older than them and experienced in the system, and they can really get a feeling for how the faculty and the university works, besides just getting tutor support. And then lastly, we have mentors. We have a very popular mentor system, and these are volunteers in the more senior years. And first years get allocated to a student mentor, and it can be 2 first years to 1. Sometimes we have up to 4 first year students to 1 mentor. And now these are students who are just a little bit ahead in the system than they are, and so I can give advice about much more than just academic advice. So the question that's often asked is, what about the future, and how is this faculty going to help my student or my graduate in the future? And 2 of the major issues are the 4th Industrial Revolution, and I hope you recognize Ava, the humanoid robot here. And the second concern is global warming and climate change. And this is one of my favorite installations. It's called Politicians Discussing Climate Change by Isaac Cordell. It's in Berlin, was installed in 2011. And I'm sure those same politicians are still there discussing climate change. So what about the 4th Industrial Revolution in the faculty? We are involved in a number of different activities related to 4IR, and that includes robotics, nanotechnologies, autonomous vehicles, smart tracking tools and systems, tools for space, sustainable power technologies, drones, and modern medical technology. And as far as global warming and climate change is concerned, we have something that we call research-led teaching. And here we have 3 examples, and I can probably give more, but there are 3 big research centres in the faculty, which is Future Water, African Centre for Cities, and Energy Research. And these are tackling what I believe to be some of the big complex problems of the day, which obviously is water security, urbanisation, and energy. And the advantage of research-led teaching is that you have researchers who are actively involved in research in the lecture theatre. So this has the effect of inspiring students about developing new knowledge, showing students the impact of knowledge, encouraging students to see themselves as research collaborators. And our experience is that research-led teaching can really be a transformative experience for students as they move out of the kind of being taught out of the textbook and really start to feel like they can make an impact in the real world. So I'm going to end with 5 top reasons to choose EBE at UCT. Number 1, you get taught how to think. You learn logical thinking, critical analysis, and decision-making skills. You'll be ready for any problem. No problem, no matter how big, will seem insurmountable. So the big scary problems of the future, like climate change, water security, renewable energy, even COVID, is not scary to an EBE professional. You'll be globally marketable and financially secure. So a degree from the Faculty of Engineering in the Built Environment at UCT is internationally recognized. And just to confirm that despite COVID and online learning and all of the adjustments we've had to make, we are still accredited and will continue to be accredited. That means that as a graduate, you can work all over the world, and you'll probably also be well paid. Number 4 is versatility. EBE covers everything from rockets to mobile phones and hip replacements. It's not just about DIY and fixing things. It's really about understanding how and why things work. And lastly, and possibly most importantly, you get a chance to really improve the world. EBE professionals contribute to society through nanobots, medical devices, HIV medication, water treatment, safer transport, renewable energy, green buildings, city renewal, landslide monitoring, affordable housing, and many, many, many other good examples of impact in the world. So thank you very much. I'm open to questions if there are any.
There are none in the chat room at the moment.
So maybe I can jump in and ask a question that I thought would be asked, and that is, what is the faculty going to do about COVID and post-COVID? The answer to that is, I believe that we responded incredibly well to the challenges of lockdown. As I said at the beginning, we transitioned to online learning within a matter of 3 weeks. So I think we're more than ready for the challenges of COVID. Our plan for next year is to do a combination of face-to-face in smaller groups with physical distancing and so on, as well as maintain some of the very good advantages of the online learning, which is recorded material, being able to play it at your leisure, being able to play it back, play it slowly, and spend more time on the material. So in my view, we are ready for what a post-COVID or what 2021 looks like for our students.
Alison, there's a question about why choose UCT over TAX or WITS?
Oh, I do love this question. So I can't speak for other institutions, but I do think what you need to look at is what's important to you in a university. I think UCT's strengths, many of UCT's strengths, one of them is this idea of research-led teaching. And I think we believe that having academics who do more than teach out of textbooks is absolutely vital. It impacts the classroom in a way that's very inspiring, it's very energizing, and it feels like the knowledge is not only relevant, but it's being developed during the curriculum. So I think that's one of the reasons that UCT is a good choice. I think another reason is that we are a very cosmopolitan university with our 20% international students and a hugely diverse group of local students. So one of the things that's really important as an engineering and built environment professional is being able to work in multidisciplinary teams. So our view is that when you graduate, off you go and live in Dubai and work on a big infrastructure project, and there in your infrastructure team is somebody from Shanghai, somebody from Boston, and somebody from Senegal, and because you've been at UCT, you are absolutely at home working in a diverse team, and it feels like second nature to you. So that's just 2 reasons that I can think of, but I would say have a look, do the research on the rankings and the things that UCT is good at, and I believe that UCT will come out top.
So the next question could be answered in the following talks, but you do, if you have the response about the BSc Engine Mechatronics and the BSc in Mechanical and Mechatronics Engineering.
Yeah. So, okay, the question is, what is the difference between the 2? I presume my colleagues who are the heads of departments or academics in the departments will answer this question better than I can. I'll give a short version, which is in the mechatronics degree, because it's based in electrical engineering, it's all about embedded systems. But being in electrical engineering, there's a much greater emphasis on the computer programming and the control and the electrical engineering side. The mechanical and mechatronic engineering being based in mechanical engineering would have a greater emphasis on the mechanical, the articulation and the mechanical performance of the system. However, I do believe that ultimately those two disciplines are going to get closer and closer together. At the moment, they just happen to be housed in two different departments.
Okay. The next question, I'm not sure, it says, what's required to join the research-led teaching program?
Well, the good news there is you don't require anything because it comes as part of the offering. So just about all of our programs, our students do a fourth-year research project or some hands-on project of some sort. And almost all of those projects are connected to the research activity in the faculty. So, for example, if you a fourth-year civil engineering student, you will do a water project, and then you will be seconded to the water quality group in civil engineering, and you'll be participating in a research project that's already running in that group as part of your fourth year project. And similarly for mechanical, electrical, chemical, and so on.
Cool. And does computer engineering fall more under the Faculty of Engineering or Science?
Computer engineering, as far as I know, is offered by the science faculty, and I think they are doing some courses in EBE. I'm not entirely sure of that.
So we have the electrical and computer engineering.
Yeah. So our degree is electrical and computer. In other words, it's fundamentally based in electrical engineering with a very, very strong computer component. The science faculty would be based in the computer science department. Yeah, one thing I should say about an engineering degree, not to knock the science degrees, which I think are absolutely of top quality, but with an engineering degree, you get a professional qualification and an accredited degree. And I think that has particular advantages.
And does the faculty offer internship opportunities during the curriculum?
Yes, we do. Most of the programs have got compulsory internships. With COVID, we've scaled those down a bit. We do, however, believe that those are really important and very, very beneficial for the curriculum. So even if they are present in a modified form, we do encourage our students to either as part of the curriculum do the internships or as part of extracurricular activity. But the faculty is well connected with industry and with employers of our graduates, and we mostly can connect the students with industry for internships during their degree.
And with the interruptions to normal learning programs this year, will UCT adjust entry requirements for students to the EBE faculty?
We haven't done that. We have adjusted the deadlines and we've extended the dates for applications. That's all was on the UCT website, but the actual requirements for getting made an offer haven't changed.
Just that we didn't need the NBT results.
Correct. Sorry, yes. So previously it was compulsory that applicants wrote the NBTs, the national benchmark tests, and for next year's intake, it's not required to write the NBTs. Thanks, Mary.
And then how much flexibility is there for moving between the different disciplines within EBE at postgrad level, e.g. going from chemical engineering into something like energy?
Total flexibility. There are many examples. In fact, quite a few people come from outside the faculty into engineering and do engineering postgrad degrees. So myself, I did a chemical engineering undergraduate degree and my PhDs in civil engineering. Plenty of opportunity to move between any of the degrees and just about any of the research areas.
Does the EBE faculty assist in finding a career in your chosen degree, and how? through the careers office?
Yeah, we have a very active and professional careers office, and they would be one port of call. But I didn't realize, Mary, that actually we hold the biggest job expo in Africa. Did you know that?
Sure, no.
That was on yesterday's talks. So the people from the, I think it was careers office, who were talking about the expos, and UCT holds a massive careers expo, to which employers are invited and students are invited. So there's opportunity to connect there. But during the course of the degree, there's often opportunities to connect through working in the holidays and doing the internships. So by the time a student graduates, they usually are relatively well connected with job opportunities.
Cool. And then perhaps the question could be answered in the electrical talk is, what's the difference between computer science and computer engineering? I must actually look at computer science syllabus, but I can tell you that the engineering degrees are very engineering orientated. So that is probably more emphasis on design, more emphasis on systems thinking, problem solving. Yeah, that would be my answer. The rest are be answered later. How easy is it to change your type of engineering during the first year?
So that depends on which degree you register for. If you register in electrical or mechanical engineering, you can change between the programs that are offered in those departments. So you can change between electrical and computer. In fact, let me just go back to my slide. So here you can change between these three, between electrical engineering, electrical and computer, and mechatronics. And you can change between these two, mechanical engineering and mechanical and mechatronic. But you can't change across any of these blocks here. That would be much harder.
How many applications do we get to the EBE department?
As far as I know, we get in the order of 10,000, and we accept, our first year class is about 750 to 760.
And how many transfer students are usually accepted? I don't know.
That's usually a pretty small number because it depends on where they've been, what they've done, and so on. So that's a very small number compared to the new entering first years.
Someone's asking about the NBTs again, so we just need to say that we're not accepted. They don't need NBTs for 2021. Can they change from property studies to construction studies?
Not as far as I know. I think the property and construction are actually two quite distinct degrees. I mean, obviously you can change, but then you'd have to start the new degree from the beginning again. The best place to look at the actual courses and the requirements for these are in the EBE handbooks, and perhaps this is a good time to direct people to the EBE website. So if you go to the UCT website and go on the faculty page, you'll see engineering in the built environment, and we've got a quick links drop-down menu where you can see all the information you need, and specifically in the undergraduate handbook, you will see exactly all of the rules, the requirements, the curricula for each of these programs.
How easy is it to change the type of engineering during the first year?
So that's the same question again. So definitely in electrical and mechanical, you can swap, but in the other ones, you have to stay in your lane.
What is the intake criteria since NBTs are not required for 2021?
So those are the NSC requirements, and those are published on our website. And it's a specific requirement for physical science and mathematics, mostly in the engineering degrees, and an overall point score for your NSC results. and it's different for different programs. So it's worth looking at the website to get specifically which program you're interested in and what the requirements are for that particular program.
If I've been accepted for 2 engineering degrees, when and how am I supposed to make my final choice?
You can make the final choice on the day that you come to register. It is nice for us to know beforehand, but inevitably students just rock up and register for the degree of their preference. So you can only register if you've been accepted, but if you've been accepted for 2, you can choose and register for the one of your choice.
Great. What if I decide to change from Proctor to Constructions after I join university next year?
If you decide to change in the first couple of weeks, you can change. And you can change as long as you fulfill the requirements for the degree you want to change to. In other words, you can't enter the faculty and then have an upgrade. But in the first couple of weeks, there's flexibility to change. But after a certain deadline, you need to stick to the program. Otherwise, you would need to change the program and start the new program. But you can't change, for example, halfway through the year. You would have to go back to the beginning and start the new program at the beginning.
What is the first year dropout rate in the EBE department?
I haven't got that number offhand, but it's not that high. Our perspective or our sort of philosophy is that if you meet the requirements to get into the faculty, which are pretty stringent, then you should be successful. We have about a 75% success rate across the whole degree. So that's across either the 3-year or the 4-year degrees. And the 3-year degrees have got a higher success rate. So I would say the success rate's pretty high. A lot of the time people change because they decide a degree didn't suit them. But yeah, as I said, if you get into the program, then you should be able to succeed. And I do believe we have sufficient support and sufficient in place to support our students so that they can actually be successful. We don't have the attitude of we're trying to cull students or whittle down numbers or anything like that. We have the capacity to teach and to accommodate the full first-year class right to graduation.
And does the EBE faculty personally allocate housing, and how many places and residents are there?
We don't do that. The housing is allocated centrally.
Regarding the number of accepted students applying for BARC, will more students be accepted into the program due to changes implemented because of COVID-19, or will it still be at 68 students for 2021? I think it's 85.
It's 85 students, and we're going to keep it at that number because we still have to accommodate those students in studio space, and we're limited by the amount of studio space we have, as well as by the amount of academics we have who are going to give the very personal small group attention to the students. So there are 2 limitations, and those are still in place.
How likely is it to lose your acceptance after you've been conditionally accepted?
If you've been conditionally accepted, you need to maintain the marks that you got in order to get the acceptance. You need to maintain the minimum mark that's published on our website. So if you drop below the bar, your conditional acceptance will be withdrawn. But as long as you stay on the bar or above the bar, you will still be accepted. So let me give an example just to be absolutely clear. If you get 90% for maths and you get a conditional acceptance, but in the degree of your choice, the requirement is 85% for maths, All you have to do is get the 85% for maths and you will still be accepted.
And how do I know that I'm accepted for engineering?
You will get a letter. As soon as the results come out, we process our letters as fast as we can and make you a firm offer.
And do you have a bridging course in case my points do not equal the required one for architecture? For example, if I'm required to have 21 and I have 20.
No. If you don't, so we make a conditional offer and you need to achieve the minimum points, as I've just said. And if you don't achieve those, then we will make the offer, then you won't be accepted. There's no bridging course.
Is every lecture recorded and can we access them before starting our first year?
Most lectures are recorded and they probably won't be accessible before you start, but once you start and register and sign up, then you get signed up to a platform called Vula, and on Vula, all of your courses will be there. Each has a tab, and under every tab will be the resources like the course outline, the lectures, the requirements to get a DP, and so on are all very, very clearly laid out on Vula. And mostly the programs are structured, so it's not just a free-for-all, do lectures whatever time of day and night you want. There's a kind of a structure and a timetable, and the lectures happen in a particular order. The pracs follow the lectures, as do the labs. So there's a planned program.
What is the fee range for EBE? It's around 68,000, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's course-based fees, so it depends how many courses you're taking. But what you can do is look in the fees handbook, look at the courses in, for example, a standard first year, and you could work out exactly what your fee bill will be. It's of the order of 68,000.
Should my application be unsuccessful for the 2021 cycle, what could one do during the course of the year to improve one's chances for the 22 cycle? It depends what the reason is for your not making the bar. If, for example, it was a not good enough maths mark, you could always rewrite mathematics. I would recommend that. Yeah, if you apply in the next cycle, you need to remember that you're going to be applying once again in competition with the next year's matrics. And the fact is that it's very, very competitive to get in. So, yeah, you would need to achieve the bar somehow, and possibly the best way to do that is to rewrite the subjects where you're lacking the points. What if I'm an international applicant and I did NBT remotely in my country? Are they also going to be used?
We're not using NBTs this year, so it's all fantastic that you did them, but they're not going to be used for admission purposes.
Are the matric prelim results required, or only the final results will be required?
You need to give the prelim results, but the firm offer will be made on the final results.
For international students, how long does it take for them to be accepted into EBE?
I'm not sure on that.
So they can also get a conditional offer on their predicted results, but the firm offer will only come when we get their final
correct, yeah.
Whatever those, yeah.
And if you are going to get an offer on your final results, that offer comes very, very soon after your results are published. Okay, well, maybe that's good enough for now, and I hope that you attend the talks of the specific departments and you can ask much more detailed and grilling questions there. And I really hope that we can welcome you in the faculty next year and that you choose not only UCT but also engineering in the built environment. Thanks very much.